All right, so a lot of us have these drops that we made that we need to cut, right? We've got these really skinny drops with these really fat tops, and we want them to be a little bit more delicate. Reminder that this is a high cry factor project, very high risk of things breaking and not going well, and you might cry, but you can always try again later. So don't stress about it, please. So to cut this, we're going to use one of these pen style cutters. We've got a couple in the studio which you can use. You do have to wear gloves to use them, or if you have your own, use your own. I've already dipped this in some oil. I think, yep, it's dipped in oil. And there's two ways that you can cut these. You can score all the way around, or you can do a single score and do your best to run that score around and then pop it off. So I'm going to try just making a small score. I'm going to mark where I'm going to score first. I don't want to be right down here. It's very thick and it's going to have a hard time popping off from here. So I want to move up about at least a 1/4 inch, and that's where I'm going to make my little score mark. All right. And also it's hard for me to stay at this angle, so I'm going to go at a diagonal. And hopefully we should hear the scoring sound. Nope. Nope. Let's try again. Ooh. I wonder if it's the cutter.
It might be the cutters.
Can you grab me one of the... Let's try our original pistol grip. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the cutter.
It wasn't me.
It's the cutter. Sorry, Jen. All right. And so I've got a little score mark there. You do want to hear it. And what I'm going to do now is I need to run the score around my entire vase here. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use the back. I guess I can use the back of this tool. But this little knob here, I'm going to tap it along the inside edge where I want that score to run. All right. And I'm going to hold my glass up to my chest, and that should help absorb some of the vibration. If you don't see it running, try again. Ooh. That definitely worked. Definitely.
Ah.
Here we go. That sounds right.
Can't see the score mark anymore, so I'm just mostly guessing.
I feel like I don't see it anymore. I'm going to try and see if it'll pop off. Again, trial and error. So hopefully you've got your score mark to run all the way around. And now we're going to tap it with a hammer that has a rubber tip. I'm going to hold the top firmly because I don't want it to pop off anywhere, and it's going to absorb some of that vibration. And then I should just be able to tap it on the side here. And it should pop off. Bam! I'm excited, that worked. So now you've got your little vase here, and we're gonna do our best to grind this edge or smooth it out using some hand pads or loose grit grinding material, which we will do later. And then you have your little square left over. If you've only fired this once, you can add more material to it, full fuse it again to try another drop. If not, this can go in your scrap bin. You can break it up to make other stuff. You can use it for shock fret even. All right, good job. That worked.
This time we're going to go all the way around instead of this lip, but just a short cut. I'm just making my mark because I kind of accidentally broke my piece already. So using a tool, you want to here. There we go. And you're turning your piece, not your blade. As close of a straight line as I could get. And I can see where I've marked it. So now I'm going to hold it to myself to help prevent some of the vibrations from cracking it. And I'm just going to go all the way around. I don't know if you can see it.
Woo! That did very well. Nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
There we go.
Made it off. Yay.
Yay.
Once you've freed your drop vase from its frame, it's going to be sharp along the edge where it broke away. So you're going to need to do some grinding and smoothing to get that not be so sharp. You don't want to use any of our grinders because there's a lot of vibration caused by those machines, and these vases are super delicate. Those edges are so thin that if you take your glass to the grinder, there's a very good chance that it will just cause the whole thing to shatter if you're not careful. So instead of risking more crying, I'm going to use, we've got these diamond pad sanders in the studio, which you're welcome to use with a pair of gloves. You need to work with them with water just like any of our other grinders. We've got the two in our studio. It's a 220 grit and a 400 grit. And whenever you're sanding to get something smoother, you want to start with your larger grit, which is the smaller number, and then follow up with the finer grit, which is the larger number. It just means there's more of those little grits on the pad there to make your piece smoother. So I'm working with this in water, and I'm using the 220 along my edge to get off all of the really sharp edgy pieces that are on there. And it's going to take me a little while because I've got some areas I'm trying to not just smooth out, but almost try and make it even with the rest of the piece. Unless you want to keep any wavies, whichever is fine. But take your time and try not to jiggle it too vigorously. But once I'm done with my 220 and I like the shape of it, I will finish off my edge with the 400 grit size, and that will polish the edge to make it much more glass-like and a more similar finish to the rest of the glass. You might have some fractures or cracks running through your vase. Be aware of those. If you are sanding too vigorously, they might pop out. After I finished this video, I discovered that there was a crack in my piece, and when I went to pinch it off, it took a little chunk out, which is okay. I just went back and smoothed it out again, and it just made for a different shape, which can be very exciting. It's different from all the other ones, which makes it special. All right, here's your bonus technique. If your piece has survived up to this point, you've got it all ground and polished, you might be ready to address what you've noticed on the bottom. Sometimes our kiln shelf will leave a little residue on your drops on the base where it touches the kiln shelf. And the way I mend this is I stick it in this little container of toilet bowl cleaner. It is the super cheap $1 toilet bowl cleaner from dollar store, and you just sit that in there for 10 plus minutes. When you take it out, run some soap and water over it, and you can scrub it with your toothbrush. and then repeat those steps as needed. Good job, everyone. I'll see you in the studio. Because this is the...
Stop. Do the whole, I deleted the other video.
Yeah.
So do the whole introduction again of what
What
you're
did I
doing.
say?
Today we're doing the cutting the drops.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's a high five.
Right. Bam! I'm excited. That worked.